Background right now. It's currently daytime and it's currently 7:24 a.m. I have not slept yet because I've been working on content literally all night. But this is day 12 of the View Maximizing Bootcamp. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to analyze your attention graphs to maximize the amount of views, break out of view jail, and just get the most amount of views you can possibly ever hope to achieve in your life. So let's get into it. So right here, we have a very, very nice looking retention graph. If you look at it, it is extremely straight, and you can see it starts at 178%. What this basically means, it basically means that people on YouTube watch this video multiple times, almost 2 times the amount. If your retention graph is starting at 200%, that means that people on YouTube are watching it more often. So let's look at this retention graph real quick. You're going to notice that this kind of, flats off, and it kind of flats off at around 114-ish percent. And we're going to end at around 84%. Now, what does this mean? This means that at around a 31-second video, that's how long this video is, there was an average view duration of 31 seconds and an average stayed ratio of around 89 or 86 seconds. This basically means that it's a really good video. Also, if we go to engagement and actually check out the swipe ratio over here, we're at 86.1%, and that's the reason why this video is just popping off like crazy right now. I mean, it's gotten 6.4 million views in the past day of uploading, which is, I think that's okay, I guess. But, an 86% swipe ratio is actually higher than usual. Usually my swipe ratio is around 85%, and this one got 86%. So that's pretty awesome. Now I'm going to give you a worse example of this to kind of show you, the comparisons of what is good compared to what is bad. So this video got 2,000 views, and it's obviously a lot less than 6 million views. It got a swipe ratio of 57% and an average view duration of 36% or 36 seconds, right? To put that in perspective, this is a minute and 30-second video, so it got around a 50% average view duration, right? Or retention percentage. Retention, which is going to be right over here. You're going to see, well, it was 31 seconds over here for average view duration. Now, you may think like, oh, well, that's only a 5-second increase. Well, this one actually got a 5-second more increase. Devin, how come this video is not doing well? Because the swipe ratio on this video is actually worse. Because if you have a low swipe ratio and a high average view duration, the swipe ratio indicates that YouTube is saying, hey, people aren't interested in this video. Even though they're watching longer, they're not interested in it. So that means, what does that mean? It means people aren't going to care to actually watch it. And why would YouTube push a video that people don't care to watch? We can also see this further by indicating on the retention graph over here. This starts at 117%, which is around where this video started flatlining, which basically means that over here, it means that, the video is performing better. All right. Or on the other one, the video is performing better, and this one video is performing worse. You can see there's lots of more confluences and inconsistencies with this video or with this retention graph. You can see there's a dip here, a dip here, a dip here, a very big dip over here. You go from 33% to 19%. That's nearly a 14% dip, which is incredibly bad. If we're looking at it in the terms of millions, if a 100 million view video gets a 14% dip, you're losing 14%, 14 million people. Why would YouTube push a video that's gonna lose 14 million potential viewers, potentially leaving the platform and going somewhere else? So when you're making content, you need to make sure that you're making content thinking about the two main things: swipe ratio and average view duration, which is basically the retention of a video, right? So now let's go to our notes. I hope you guys have been taking notes in the past 12 days of this boot camp, because it's very important you guys are actually learning what you're doing and not just listening and then jerking off with information. Make sure you guys are actually taking notes and taking accountability. I mean, I have a notebook like this over here. I am constantly just, writing as much information as I can down. I don't know if you guys can see it, but like I'm just writing constant information down all the time. Anyways, swipe ratio is SW plus your AVD, which is average view duration, is going to equal a 1-to-1 ratio. So you have a 1-to-1 ratio here, which is going to equal how likely you are to go viral. So let's just, say your virality score is 0 out of 100, but 0 is actually going to be X in this scenario. So this is kind of the equation I use over here to figure out if my video is going to go viral or not, right? So for example, if my swipe ratio is 100%, which is impossible, by the way. It's impossible to get 100% swipe ratio. And if you do, you are some god level YouTuber, right? But let's say you get 100% swipe ratio and you get a, a 200% AVD, then you're basically guaranteed like, 8 billion views. So that's kind of the swipe ratio percentage that I use to calculate my views and stuff. So let's put a real world example here. So over here we had a 57% swipe ratio, and then we had an average view duration of 36 seconds. But remember, this 36 seconds is out of a 1 minute and 3 second video, which is, really just a 63-second video. And if we just do the math here, we have a 36 divided by 63, which is 36 divided by 63, and that's going to give me a 57%. 57% plus 57%. Well, what do you know? Wow, it's even, huh? It's a little weird. It's almost like I said, it's a 1-to-1 ratio here. And since it's a 1-to-1 ratio, your x out of 100 factor is going to be bad. It's basically a sad emoji because, once you see both of these are low percentages, that basically indicates that it's going to be bad. So, what should you be aiming for swipe ratios and average view duration? All right, so swipe ratio, you should be aiming for around, so swipe ratio, you should be aiming for around a 85% swipe ratio. That's pretty much guaranteed, like at least 1 million views, as long as your attention, or AVD, is around a 80% plus, depending on how long the video is. Now let's talk about this because AVDs are important, guys. I'm sorry if I'm moving through this video quickly. We've kind of gone through the first 12 or 11 episodes of this boot camp going over the basic stuff, and I want to go over more of the advanced stuff because getting 400 million views a month on one channel, it does not take basic information. And I'm sure if you guys want to get 400 million views on a channel as well, then you also don't want basic information. Anyways, so for AVD, it kind of depends. All right. So let's say I have a 20-second video. Let's say you have only a 20-second video, and your average view duration is around 200%. Well, that basically means that your actual average view duration of the 20-second video is going to be 40 seconds, right? And that indicates to YouTube that, hey, this video is doing well. Now let's have another example. Let's say we have a 1-minute video. Actually, no, for simplicity, let's say we have a 40-second video, all right, 40-second. And the 40-second video gets a 100% retention. This basically indicates that YouTube's saying that, hey, this is a 40-second video, and since it's getting 40 seconds, YouTube's going to push us out. So your attention to average view duration ratio is important. If your average view duration is lower, but your retention of your video is higher, this indicates to YouTube that, hey, this is a good video, smiley face. If your average view duration is lower, if your average view duration is higher, and your retention is lower, let's just do here, retention is lower, then that's going to indicate to YouTube that, hey, even though your retention is lower, but your average view duration is higher, it's going to indicate to YouTube, hey, smiley face, this is a good video, all right? Now let's give a bad example. I really want to drill this home. It's really important. Guys, I am doing this off of 0 sleep, and I'm still spitting this crazy sauce right now. Let's say your average view duration is low. Let's say it's like 20 seconds. And also your retention, I'm going to put R for retention because I'm going to write it again. Let's say your R is only 80%. That's indicating to YouTube that you are getting a 16-second average view duration, which is going to tell YouTube that this is a bad video, because why would YouTube push out a video that's only getting 16 seconds average view duration? Unless the interactions of the video, the comments were really, really big, and the actual likes and stuff and shares was all good as well. I'm going to give a good example of that right now, actually. Before we go to the next example, I'm going to give a good example of that. So this is probably one of the best examples I could give. This video got 10 million views. This is on a second channel that I've run. Well, I have 35 channels. This is on another channel that I've run. And this channel, what we did with my friend and I is we did engagement baiting content with high average view duration videos. So this video got a average swipe ratio of 67%. That is ass. That is so bad. A 67% swipe ratio is awful. But you may be wondering, well, Devin, why did this video get 10 million views? Huh. Let me tell you, boy. So this video got 10 million views because the average view duration of the video was 59 seconds long. But wait, there's also more. I'm gonna have to blur out all of this stuff because I don't want to show you guys actually, the channel itself. But this channel got 15,000 comments off 10 million views. That is an insane ratio. That's 1.5%. Wait. That's 0.15%, which is still insanely high because YouTube people don't comment. So when you get 15,000 comments with a ratio of 257,000 likes, YouTube is going to push this video out. And that's why this video got 10 million views, because the engagement was so high. So remember that engagement doesn't, or remember that even though you have a low average view duration, or even though you have a high average view duration and a low retention, that doesn't always mean that, your video isn't going to get pushed out. Because if your video is actually getting good engagement, right? Engagement. That says engagement, by the way. Then, you're getting like your trust score of your video is increasing. And if your trust score is increasing, that basically is indicating to YouTube that, hey, this is a smiley face, good video. Now, I hope this video was kind of useful. I hope it was helpful. I know we kind of went over a lot of stuff very quickly, and I went over it very quick, and it didn't make a lot of sense, maybe. So if it didn't make a lot of sense, comment. And if it didn't make sense, just tell me, hey, Devin, this didn't make sense. Can you please make a part 2 on analyzing retention graphs and understanding how to get viral videos, because it didn't make sense to me. And I will make a video on how to get viral videos and how to do this stuff again. I'll make a part 2. Because this is day 12 of the boot camp, and we're going to keep going for this boot camp until I basically have nothing left. This is the YouTube section. We're also going to go over Instagram later in this boot camp, but we're going over YouTube right now. That's pretty much everything for this video, guys. If you learned anything from it and you want to work with me one-on-one, check out the first link in the description. It's going to say like devin.cnats.com/apply, and you're going to be able to apply to work with me one-on-one. I am only taking probably 2 more students for this boot camp. I'm really kind of stacked on students right now. So if you guys are